Now on that same day, two of them were going to a village called Emmaus. While they were talking and discussing, Jesus himself came near and went with them.
Am I doing what God wants me to do? Am I fulfilling what God wants me to fulfill? As a foreman, my main preoccupation was to ascertain whether I was in the right place, to be a little clearer about my vocation and my own path in life.
It is important that people who work in the church, who are called to service in the church, whether they're lay, religious, or priest, be given the opportunity to go through a process towards growth and integration in order that they may be able to respond more fully to God's call. The work in the church will ask them or will ask of them to walk with people towards growth and integration and fuller response to God. And so it's important that in the first place, they go through that process themselves.
It is difficult. The person has to deal with his or her own limitations, his or her own brokenness and sinfulness, psychological blocks, and human unfreedoms. These things make it difficult to hear God's call.
I believe that we at Emmaus Center are doing very important work. We are helping people, we are accompanying people in their process of self-discovery. Because it is in this process that they will also clarify, get to know the real life call. And in this process of self-discovery, we also help them become more real in their personal relationship with God.
Father Benny had a vision to put up a center that would nurture both the spiritual and the psychological within the person. At that time, we were discovering new approaches to formation.
Emmaus Center is a fulfillment of the dream of Father Benny Calputura to prepare people for the work of formation. In 1981, when he came back from his studies in Duquesne University, he specialized in formative spirituality. Father Benny gathered a group of people already working in the field of formation, pulled their skills, and put this at the service of the church. Initially, we were asking, we're psychologists, we're going to work with religious and priests. What can we really do for them? And he said, there's so much about psychology that you can actually put to use in helping religious in their own formation.
The foundation of the Emmaus Center, through the initiative of Father Benny Calputura, was a very good response, a very concrete response to the need of the church today. I have happy memories of Father Benny. I've known him as a very discerning man. I say this because I've had a concrete experience of having worked with him when I was a novice master of the Congregation of the Blessed Sacrament. I've had the opportunity to sit down with him about concerns related to formation, and it has helped me discern.
I think it's also important to say I have Emmaus Center to thank for the formators that I had, because my formators were Emmaus babies. My novice mistress, the late Sister Carolina, my junior mistress, our current provincial, Sister Mary Manuel, and other sisters also benefited from the programs of Emmaus. And I thank Emmaus for that, because I felt our formation was valuable, largely because of what Emmaus has done.
They recognized him and he vanished out of their sight. They said to each other, "Were not our hearts burning within us while he was talking to us on the road?"
The emmaus seminars have always been part of our novitiate formation program. No? And I've been here for a little more than 10 years now in Sacred Heart. And I cannot imagine running this novitiate without the Emmaus programs, without the Emmaus seminars. Emmaus is like a school. No? It's a school of the heart. Many times they call the novitiate Schola Affectus, or school of the heart. No? And the novitiate cannot be a school of the heart without these Emmaus seminars. No? These Emmaus seminars allow the novices to know themselves, to understand their stories, understand their personality, their very identity and values.
Because you see, most religious would be attracted to the ideals, no? To the ideals of religious life, and that's good. However, perhaps Father Benny knew that before you can really imbibe or integrate the ideals that you're very attracted to, you need to really look at where you are and start moving from where you are towards the integration of those ideals. I think that's a very important contribution of Emmaus, because prior to that, most of the formation programs would just simply focus on the ideals, insist that people acquire these ideals, live out these ideals, without considering that there are realities in a person's life that interact with the integration of these ideals. God is not just in that self that you're aspiring for, in the holiness, in the perfection, but where you are in your brokenness, in your weakness, God may be found there.